Hello, hello. My name's Graham Cluley, and you may know me from the AI Fix and Smashing Security podcasts. But I've not always been a podcaster. My background in cybersecurity started over 30 years ago when I was programming one of the world's first ever antivirus programs for Windows. And since then, obviously, decades have passed. Technology has changed in many ways beyond recognition. It's as though science fiction has become reality. And nowhere else is that more obvious than in the topic we're going to be discussing today, because I'm delighted to welcome you to the Qualys Cyber Risk Series AI and LLM edition. I'm going to be your host today, and so thanks very much for joining. The Qualys Cyber Risk Series happens every quarter and offers a series of dynamic conversations that provide security practitioners like yourselves with actionable, data-driven perspectives and advice. Now, we've got a great lineup of speakers today. I'm really excited to introduce them to you. We'll be discussing the most pressing security challenges when it comes to artificial intelligence. We'll be exploring the hidden risks in your AI and LLM workloads and making some forecasts about what we'll be seeing in the months ahead as well. As you're tuning in, please feel free to submit any questions you may have. There's a Q&A function, and those will be addressed as they come in by a team member at Qualys. We'll try to respond to as many questions as possible, and any questions that we aren't able to get to today will be addressed by a Qualys team member after the event. Now, the exciting news is we're also going to be giving away multiple copies of a book. Yes, one of our speakers, Steve Wilson, he's very kindly donated copies of his book. It's called The Developer's Playbook for Large Language Model Security, Building Secure AI Applications. So thanks very much to him, and make sure to stay tuned throughout the session and keep an eye on the chat function, see if your name comes up as one of the lucky winners who will walk away with a copy of Steve's book. Anyway, enough of the housekeeping. I think it's time to get on with the show, don't you? So let's get into it right now. AI is permeating every aspect of our lives, from the mundane to the extraordinary. It's in our smartphones. It's recommending the next song we should listen to. It's filtering our emails. It's not just in our cars helping us navigate traffic. It's even starting to drive our cars for us. We've gone from dreaming of a future where robots will scoop us out of bed and dress us and brush our teeth like in the Jetsons, to one where AIs will automatically attend meetings in place of us and let us know what happened later. So we're living in a time of real revolution. And this revolution is coming so fast and changing our lives so quickly that many of us are nervous. We're scared that our way of living and working is going to alter so much, so quickly, that we won't have time to catch our breath and work out if it's a good or a bad thing that's happening. And it's happening in the workplace. Over 80% of companies globally say they are using some form of AI in their operations. I expect that's something of an underestimate. I imagine it's way over that. As AI and LLMs transform businesses, they're also bringing new security and compliance challenges, ones which traditional cybersecurity measures are struggling to address effectively. It's become critical to address those security challenges and to be able to discover what AI systems have been deployed in our organizations, getting visibility on that, and if they are vulnerable. What we definitely don't want happening is shadow AI. We've had shadow IT for years, and trying to lock that down. We don't want shadow AI. We don't want teams using AI without our knowledge, but particularly without our being able to assess the security of what is going on with AI in those areas of your company. And the powerhouses behind many of the most impressive AI applications that we see today are the things right at the center of them, the large language models, the LLMs. They can do extraordinary things. They can write an opera. They can translate languages in real time. They can even generate complex computer code. Before we know it, the AIs themselves will be enhancing their own code without human involvement, leaving us even more ignorant as to how they are working or what they are thinking. So what we have here is a technology that's very powerful. And just as individuals and businesses want to use AI, surprise, surprise, so do cyber criminals. The truth is, AI and LLMs are facing a constantly evolving landscape of security threats. You can think of it like this. Every time we push the boundaries of AI, we're also expanding the attack surface. We're creating new opportunities for malicious actors to exploit them. Now, that's something we all need to take seriously. And it's an issue we're going to be tackling during today's series of talks. Generative AI is adding to the criminal's arsenal. Cyber attacks powered by generative AI are democratizing cyber attacks. There's a lower entry threshold. You no longer have to be able to speak a particular language or be good at spelling or social engineering. You can get the computer to help you do that. Remember all those broken emails, letters from Nigeria we used to get? And you used to think, oh, well, it's not written very well. Now the computer can do it. It can do it convincingly. And if you're a criminal, you're not going to have any qualms about not paying for the AI that you are using in your malicious campaigns and attacks. It could be that an AI is being used to generate those highly convincing phishing emails designed to manipulate people into handing over their login credentials. Or it could be that an LLM is being manipulated to generate deepfakes and misinformation, sowing discord, manipulating public opinion. These risks are not hypothetical. Cybersecurity firms are already reporting real-world instances of LLM jacking, that's the hijacking of LLMs. Hackers are compromising cloud accounts to exploit large language models. Some victims have seen their AI costs go from, maybe $100 per day to over $100,000 per day, because suddenly a malicious actor is using the AI and it's going to affect the company. They're going to be the ones paying for it through their pocket. So this is a digital arms race with attackers constantly probing for weaknesses, looking for ways to exploit AI-powered tools for their own gain and bending them to their will. So hijacking is a problem. Another major concern is data poisoning. This involves the injection of malicious data into the training data sets used to train LLMs. This can poison an AI model, causing it to produce biased or inaccurate or even harmful outputs. And you could argue that large language models have done this by themselves. After all, they've been hoovering up the contents of the internet with all its ghastliness and nonsense for a while. But it's also easy to imagine a malicious party deliberately trying to poison an LLM for their own needs. There was an infamous example of this, of data poisoning. Researchers at MIT a few years ago, they managed to poison a machine learning model used for image recognition. They made minor changes to a small number of training images, and they were able to make the AI misclassify a panda as a gibbon, which may sound harmless to you, but think about how hard it is to get pandas to breed. The last thing you want, if you're a male panda, is to mix up female pandas with gibbons. You're not going to have a good day. Another growing concern is prompt injection. This is a particularly insidious attack where hackers will craft malicious inputs. They will trick the LLM into revealing confidential information or breaking through its guardrails and performing actions it wasn't meant to. It's as though an AI has been put under the spell of a hypnotist, whispering a secret command into its ear, bypassing all of the safeguards and security protocols. And through this method, it's been possible to get an AI to cough up secrets, revealing sensitive information about a company's secrets and its internal systems or customers. So that's a threat. And then there's the theft or the extraction of the AI model itself. Now, one way to do that is to make repeated queries of an AI, analyzing the responses. Attackers may be able to reverse engineer the model's architecture. There was a case involving Tesla, where a former engineer was accused of allegedly stealing source code of its AI autopilot system before he joined a competing Chinese car manufacturer. So you don't want that kind of thing happening. So what can we do? Well, first and foremost, we need to acknowledge the seriousness of these AI-related threats. We can't afford to be complacent. We need to invest in robust security measures, develop ethical guidelines for the development of AI. And wouldn't it be great to foster a culture of awareness and responsibility too? And we need to stay ahead of the curve. The AI landscape is constantly evolving and shifting, and new threats are emerging all the time. We need to be vigilant, constantly learning and adapting to this changing landscape, because as AI develops, there will be more attempts by cyber criminals to take advantage of it, to exploit misconfigurations and weaknesses. Think of how far AI has developed in just the last couple of years since ChatGPT 3 came out. 2 years ago, it came out. Where are we going to be in 2 years, 4 years, 10 years' time? The future of AI depends to a large extent on our ability to address these security challenges. So, let's work together to ensure that AI remains a force for good and a tool that benefits humanity, not a weapon that harms us.